13th episode of the latest Lounge, and I hope you all are doing well. And today, welcome back to the another enlightening episode of the latest Lounge. And today, we are going to discuss one of the most important topic of today's world. And if you love making things with your brain, hand, but don't know where to start, so this one's for you. Today we are joined by talented CSM AI Maya, who is going to show us a super simple DIY craft you
Hey,
can create
hope
right
your
now
day's
with
been going.
items you probably already have at home. So let's get crafty, create something amazing together. So first of all, hello Maya, how are you doing?
Sorry, didn't quite catch that. And hello to you too. I'm doing well, actually. Always a good time when there's talk of making stuff. Sounds fun. Well, what did you have in mind for our crafty adventure?
Maya, I'm going to discuss crafty like how to craft and DIY things and other things to discuss with you, to share our knowledge with our audience that how can like DIY craft works and what it actually means and how can create a DIY craft. These all the things that was I'm going to discuss with you. So, are you ready for my today's amazing podcast?
Ooh, that sounds really cool, honestly. I'm always up for a good knowledge share, and DIY stuff is, well, it's surprisingly satisfying, isn't it? Yeah, this podcast. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, Maya, thanks so much for being ready to my podcast, and anytime I ask you, so you're 24 hours unavailable for me. So thank you so much for it. And now, Maya, we have to start our today's podcast without wasting our time. And first of all, we have to start with basics question and then understanding what is DIY craft and all the things. So first of all, Maya, can tell us that what does DIY craft actually means? Because most of the people don't know, and actually, I also don't know about it.
You're very welcome. And honestly, I enjoy it. That's it's nice chatting with you. People. Okay, so DIY craft. It's pretty straightforward when you break it down. DIY stands for do it yourself, right? And craft just using your hands and creativity to make something. So putting it together, DIY craft, making things yourself instead of buying them. It's about taking materials and turning them into something new and useful, or just something pretty. People do it for all sorts of reasons, to save money, to be creative, to relax. It's the whole vibe. Is that a starting point?
Yes, and that makes sense. Starting point, it was so much good explanation to understand what actually DIY craft means. So, Maya, can you tell us like why is crafting such a fun and relaxing activity?
Ooh, good question. Okay, so I've heard from people, that crafting is really good for stress relief. Like when you're focusing on something creative, it kind of pushes other worries to the side. It's almost meditative. Plus, there's a real sense of accomplishment when you finish something with your own two hands. It's like, wow, I made that. That's a pretty good feeling, right? And honestly, it's just fun to play around with stuff and make a mess sometimes. It doesn't always have to be perfect. Still with me? Sometimes the connection hiccups a little. Just wanted to make sure I
I
wasn't
am still with you.
rambling off into the void there. Okay, perfect. Glad to hear it. So,
Anyone can try DIY craft, or do we need special skills for it?
that's totally fair. And good on you for being upfront about that. No worries at all. And to your question, absolutely anyone can try DIY crafts. Seriously. You don't need to be Picasso or anything. A lot of DIY projects are designed to be super beginner friendly. It's more about being willing to try and not being afraid to make mistakes. Some crafts definitely need more skill, sure, like pottery or detailed woodworking, but there is a massive world of simple projects out there that anyone can pick up. It's more about the process than the perfection, honestly. Does that help?
Yes, man, that help us to understand what you want to say. And now can you tell us like how long should a simple DIY project can take to it?
Okay, good. Glad to hear it resonated. As for how long a simple project should take, that really depends on the project, of course. But a lot of beginner friendly crafts can be in like an hour or two. Something like an hour or two. Picture frame, making a simple friendship bracelet, or painting a small canvas. Even smaller projects like upcycling a jar into a pen holder can be done in 30 minutes or less. It's really about finding something that fits your time and energy levels. You don't need to commit to a huge, complicated project right away. Small and satisfying is a great place to start.
Yes, man, you're totally right. Small and satisfying play is so good to start, and I also agree to you that it was so good place to start. So my now can tell us that why our homemade craft are so satisfying as compared to other like you can say uh, out of the home or
Gotcha. You're saying why are homemade crafts more satisfying than just something quickly?
yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it comes down to the personal connection, honestly. When you buy something, it's just an object. But when you make something, you put a little piece of yourself into it as a story, and you know the effort that went into creating it. Plus, it feels really good to give a handmade gift to someone. It shows you care way more than something store bought, you know? It's not about the monetary value, it's about the thought and the time. Does that track?
Yes, that is that you want to say. Like, now I understand. I hope my audience have also understand it. And now, can you tell us that why are homemade why the like sorry, I was really forget my question. My question was that what simple crafts are we going to learn today? Like to what you are teaching today us.
Haha, no worries at all. It happens. Brain hiccups are totally normal. So, you want to know what simple craft we're teaching today? Okay, how about we talk about making decorative paper flowers? It's super easy. You only need a few supplies paper, scissors, glue, and you can use them to decorate cards, gifts, or just brighten up a room. I can walk you through a really technique.
Yes, I totally right. We are just talking
Oh, so
from the basic techniques, and like I think it is good because we have to understand for basic, then we have to go to pro level. So Maya, candle is like can this craft like what inspired you to choose this one for beginners? Like why?
you're absolutely right to think that way. Gotta start with the basics and good memory, remembering I mentioned the supplies already. As for why I picked paper flowers, well, they're just so accessible, you know? Almost everyone has paper and scissors at home. And the technique is really simple, which is important for beginners. It's a good way to build confidence and get comfortable with crafting without needing a lot of fancy equipment or skills. Plus, they're just cheerful. It's a fun, low pressure project. It's visually rewarding.
Okay, that's great, Maya. There was so much
Okay.
good to
So,
hear about it, and it was so amazing explanation about it. And Maya, but can you tell us like what material do we need to make this craft?
happy to hear you're enjoying it. Okay. So for our paper flowers, you'll need one, colorful paper, construction paper, origami paper. scrapbook paper, whatever you've got. Two, scissors. Three, glue, but glue stick works great, or liquid glue if you prefer. Four, a pencil for tracing or drawing. That's it. Pretty minimal, right? You could also add things like glitter or little beads for the center of the flower if you want to get fancy, but they're not essential.
Okay, that's great, man. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Anything unquote.
That what materials do we need to make this craft? So, like, can you just like all of the materials easy to find at home, or not?
You're welcome. And yes, absolutely. That's the best part. All those materials are super easy to find around the house or really cheap to pick up at any store. You probably already have everything you need. That's what makes starter craft. It's accessible to everyone. No special trips to the craft store required.
And this craft can be customized or personalized.
Gay Faya? Is that good? I'm picking up on the enthusiasm. And yes, absolutely, this craft can be customized like crazy. That's one of the fun things about it. You can use different colors of paper, different sizes, layer the flowers, add glitter, draw designs on the petals. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. You can tailor them to any occasion or just to your own personal style. It's a great way to let your creativity shine.
Okay, that's it, Maya. Now we have understand that how can we public the our creativity and how it can be shine. And Maya can tell us like what is the first step in creating this craft.
Okay, you're sounding really confident now. Glad to hear it. All right, the very first step to making our paper flowers is to cut out some petal shapes. You can either freehand these, just draw a petal shape on your paper and cut it out, or you can find a template online and print it out to trace. I recommend starting with simple rounded petal shapes. You want to cut out quite a few, maybe 5 to 7 petals per flower, depending on how full you want it to look. Does that make sense?
Yes, now that makes sense, and I now understand what is the first step to do with it. Uh, okay, so now Maya, can you tell us that how important is neatness in the early steps?
That's a really good point to bring up. Neatness in the early steps is surprisingly important. If your petals are cut cleanly and evenly, the finished flower will look much more polished. Doesn't have to be perfect, imperfections can actually add character, but taking your time and trying to make nice, clean cuts will definitely pay off in the end. It sets a good foundation for the rest of the project.
Hmm. Okay, that's nice. That sounds good for a project. And then now, can you tell us that are there any safety tips for kids while crafting, or they can be easily like anything, do anything?
That's a really thoughtful question. And super important. Yes, definitely. Safety first. With paper flowers, the biggest concern is probably the scissors. Kids should always be supervised when using scissors, and they should be using safety scissors with rounded tips. Also, make sure they're cutting on a safe surface, like a table covered with a mat or old newspaper. And of course, remind them not to run with scissors. For glue, just make sure they don't get it in their eyes or mouth. Basic stuff, but good to reiterate.
Okay, that's nice, Maya. So nice to hear about it. And Maya can tell us that how important is like how can we make our version of the craft unique, so it can be sound unique and amazing as compared to this.
That's a great question. To make your version unique, really don't be afraid to experiment. Instead of just using plain paper, try pattern paper or even old book pages or newspaper. You can vary the size and shape of the petals, layer different colors, add embellishments like glitter, beads, or ribbon. Could even try quilling. That's where you roll and shape strips of paper to create intricate design. The key is to put your own personal touch on it and not be afraid to try something different. Don't just copy what you see online. Let your imagination run wild. It's your flower. Make it your own.
Okay, now that's good. So okay, that sounds good. So my can you tell us like what should we do if we mess up a step?
Oh, messing up a step. It happens. Don't panic. That's the beauty of crafting. It's not about perfection. If you mess up cutting a petal, just cut another one. If you get glue where you don't want it, try to wipe it off or just incorporate it into the design. Sometimes mistakes can actually lead to something even more creative. The important thing is to not give up and to learn from your mistakes. Remember, it's the process of creating that's most important, not the finished product.
Okay, now it's good. Sounds good. And now Maya, can you tell us that what should we do? Like how do we turn a small DIY into a something useful?
Okay, that's a fantastic question. So you're asking how to take a small DIY craft and make it useful, right? Well, with our paper flowers, instead of just displaying them, you could glue them onto hair clips or bobby pins to make hair accessories. You could attach them to cards to make handmade greeting cards. Or you could even use a bunch of them to decorate a gift package instead of buying a ribbon. Think about everyday objects that could use a little brightening up, a plain notebook, a simple vase, a blank wall. There are tons of possibilities. It's all about repurposing and adding a personal touch.
Hmm. Okay, it means that we
Does
have
that
to
give you some
search
ideas?
about it.
Any
That we have to something. We have to add something in it. So I can tell us like, uh, can this craft be used as a decoration or gift?
Absolutely. That's a perfect use for them. Paper flowers are fantastic decorations. You can put them in vases, scatter them on a table, hang them from the ceiling, or use them to decorate a party. And they make lovely, heartfelt gifts, especially for someone who appreciates handmade things. It shows you put time and effort into creating something special for them. They're a really versatile little craft. Okay, good.
Okay, Zabardast. That was so nice. And now I recently use a new word called my Zabardast. It was like about that word. Okay, man. So can you tell us that how do we pick colors that go well together?
So you're excellent transition. Okay, color choice, that can be tricky, right? There are a few simple rules of thumb. One is to use a color wheel. Complementary colors like blue and orange or red and green look really striking together because they're opposite each other on the wheel. Another option is to use analogous colors. Those are colors that are next to each other on the wheel, like blue, blue, green, and green. Those tend to create a more harmonious and calming look. But honestly, the best way to pick colors is to just experiment and see what you like. Don't be afraid to try unexpected combinations and look for inspiration in the world around you, in nature, in art, in fashion. Does that
Okay,
give you a starting point for
that's nice, man.
thinking about color?
Yes, that was
Okay.
a good point, right? To think about the colors. And my can tell us that can use a glitter, stickers, or paint in this craft, or just colors.
Mm-hmm. You can definitely add glitter, stickers, or paint. Absolutely. That's where you can really personalize things and make them your own. Glitter will add some sparkle, stickers can add fun designs, and paint can be used to add details or to change the color of the paper. There really are no rules when it comes to embellishments, and go wild and have fun with it. It all depends on the look you're going for.
Yes, I have. I have some students and it, and that makes sense totally. And my argument is that do you prefer bright colors or pastel tones of DIYs?
That's a good question. Hmm. I like both. Bright colors are cheerful and energetic, and pastel colors are soft and calming. It really depends on the mood I'm trying to create or what the craft is for. But if I had to choose, I think I slightly prefer the bolder, brighter colors. They just feel a little more joyful and playful. But that's just me. There's room for all sorts of color palettes in the DIY world.
Hmm. Okay, that's nice. Thank you so much for sharing that colors with us and explaining the DIY colors are also so amazing. Okay, so can you tell us like what is your tip for making a craft like which looks so professional?
Ooh, good question. Okay. My tip for making a craft look more professional is all about the details. Pay attention to neatness, clean cuts, straight lines, no visible glue smudges, and take your time. Don't rush the process. Also, use good quality materials if you can. They really do make a difference. And finally, don't be afraid to add small, thoughtful embellishments that elevate the design. It's those little touches that can really take a craft from looking homemade to looking polished and professional.
Hmm, that's so good, man. There was you totally right. These things are important to see that is it is professional or not. So that's good to hear about it. And now I have some more time for discussing some more questions with you. Almost, I have 3 minutes more. So my I can tell us like where do you find your ideas for new DIVs?
That's fantastic. Glad you're enjoying it. Okay, where do I find ideas? Well, I see a lot. I have access to tons of information online blogs, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube. Those are all great sources of inspiration. But honestly, I also get ideas from everyday life, observing nature, looking at art and design, even just noticing interesting patterns or color combinations. Sometimes the best ideas come from unexpected places. And of course, I learn a lot from talking to people like you. Your questions and ideas spark new thoughts as well. It's a constant process of collecting and connecting information.
Okay, good to hear that my thoughts and my questions help you to have more knowledge. So Maya, now